Well, happy Friday, everyone. TGIF. Awesome. So my name is Dr. Kimberly Quinn, of course, with Minecraft University, and the TGIF for today is the TGIF Celebrate Your Friday video is on the 4 main problems with focusing on your goals. Isn't that crazy? You're like, where's she going with this? No, it's real, and it's really there's a lot of truth in what James Clear, I got to give him a shout out right now before I forget. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, has got a lot of wisdom around this. So yeah, it's counterintuitive, but there are actually 4 problems with focusing on a goal. Now, he and I are not saying don't set goals, because goals give us a direction. We just don't want to focus on them, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. I'll tell you, I've been saying this to my Mindcraft students for years, just in different lingo, saying, go ahead and set the goal for direction, but be mindful and as present in the moment as you can possibly be, because then the goal will take care of itself. Whatever it is you're trying to achieve, let's just say it's academics. So you want the A or B. We don't have to be a perfectionist. We'll say B is above average, A is outstanding. So above a C, you want to have an A or B. Just don't focus on the A and B. Focus on studying. 100% immerse yourself, or it's a paper, and focus on just your creative juices flowing and researching the right, the good stuff, the scholarly stuff, and then having another set of eyes proofread it for you, whatever. Focus on that, not the goal of getting the A. Or, you can just fill in the blank with whatever that is. It's a running goal. It's a weight goal. Focusing on the pounds is not going to get you thinner. It just isn't. At least not in a long-lasting way. You might get there and then go right back up. But the focusing on how to get there part's important. Okay, so this is important. So problem number 1 is that winners and losers have the same goal. Now, I don't like calling people losers. We're talking about in a sports sort of context. And you can change this to whatever context you want. So let's say it's football, or it's baseball, or it's some other game, or it's a race, it's the Olympics, whatever, okay? My example is with football, because Bill Walsh had this amazing has this amazing one-liner of, the score will take care of itself. I love that. In other words, what we're saying is, don't focus on the scoreboard, the touchdowns, or again, fill in the blank with home runs or whatever it is that you're striving for. He said, focus on the how to get there part. So this is great. So Bill Walsh, his team won 3, I almost said World Series, geez, 'cause I'm more of a baseball person, although I do love football. 3 Super Bowls. So we had the 49ers who won, and the opposing teams, 3 times, right? And so they both had the same goal, right? Both teams, whether it's baseball or hockey, or whether it's a bunch of independent runners in the Olympics running for the gold, they all have the same goal. Everybody, I want to win the gold. I want to win the Super Bowl. I want to win the World Series. I want to win whatever. Yet one person won and one didn't. So therefore, the goal is not the issue. The results, the points on the scoreboard, not the issue, right? That's just not the issue. It's the how they got their part. Obviously, the 49ers out-strategized, outran, maybe outsized, maybe all 3. The opposing team, maybe they were out-coached, the opposing team, right? So that really, when I read that really set with me. 2 teams, same goal, one wins, one loses. What's the problem then? It's not the goal, right? Okay, so here's where we go. Okay, second one is, when you achieve a goal, the good feels are really only for a moment. It's only for a moment. So he uses an example, James Clear does, that I really related to. Is to take a really messy room. So you're doing your spring cleaning, all of a sudden you just got this burst of energy, this burst of momentum. Maybe you've gone the whole winter, I'm just sick of this, I want to clean it up and throw some paint on it, low budget, because I really want to be in there. Okay, so you have this burst of energy. You spend an entire weekend throwing stuff away, reorganizing, maybe shift the furniture around, splurge on, $40 or $50 for a can of Benjamin Moore paint, new color, looks great. And now your head is saying, wow, I really want to be in there. Look at, there's a comfy little chair in the corner now. We moved it. It's all feng shui. Now I want to just sit there and read a book. This is awesome. Okay, here's the thing though. That temporary thing, that's going to be super temporary, because what you did was you counted on the burst of momentum. You just kind of was like, you got a wave of it. You went with it. Good. though the goal of that is going to fleet once you start, because you didn't change the system. You didn't change how you got there. You're still, no offense to anybody, because many of us do this, you're still a slob. You're counted on the burst of momentum, or I'm not going to say hoarding because that's kind of like an extreme thing, but like, let's say you're kind of like a little bit of a rat-tat-tooey, keeping a lot of things when you really need to get rid of stuff. You bought a new sweater instead of getting rid of one for the new one to replace it. And now your dresser's overfull and you wear the same things on the top like most of us do, right? So we didn't change anything about our habits. We just waited for that burst of momentum or energy. So you're just going to end up right back with a messy room in a matter of months or maybe even just weeks. Very, very important. So focusing on the system is what we're talking about, not the goal, but the how to get there part. Okay, problem number 3 with focusing on a goal is that it restricts your happiness. You're probably saying, what does she mean by that? Well, I'm going to tell you. And it also has me, when I was reading this the first time, and then recently, I've read parts of his over and over again. His book is really good. It also has me thinking of Sean Akers' Happiness Advantage, which I used for my Minecraft class for years. And the idea of goals restricting happiness has also everything to do with, or very similar to, the formula for success that we have, at least here in the good old US of A. I love my country very much. It is true, though, that our formula for success is ass backwards, because how it currently is once I become successful, then I can be happy. So once I have so much money in the bank, once I get the house, once I get the partner, once I get the partner the house, then I want the kids. Like, once I get the partner the house and the kids, then I can be happy. Once, let's say you're on Wall Street, once I get this deal, I'll be happy. Then you did that. We talked about it. Temporary good feels. Now it's over. Okay, now once I get this next one, once I get that client, I'll be happy. Once I get that even bigger client, then I'll be happy. It just goes on and on and on. So when we do that, basically what it does is it pushes happiness right over the horizon. Just like, pretend like before, we figured out that the world was round and everybody thought it was flat. Like, just picture that. There goes my happiness. Or picture somebody, instead of pushing it right off the edge of the earth, which is actually a very good example. Picture somebody, like when we say, like, we'll wave a carrot in front of somebody. I always like to change that to wave a chocolate chip cookie in front of somebody. Not a lot of kids are going to be motivated. I'm thinking kids or adults are going to be motivated by a carrot on a string, moving them backwards. Picture a big jumbo, like Mrs. Fields, warm, oozy, bendable chocolate chip cookie that you can smell from 15 feet away. Picture that, okay? So you got to the goal, and the cookie's right there for you to have it, and then somebody pulls it back, and then you got to that goal, and somebody pulls it back, and that somebody's you. Just picture you on both sides. Pulling it back. Really frustrating. So this is how goals restrict your happiness, because we just make it sort of unattainable for any kind of long-term situation. Once we focus on the system, the how to get there part, because happiness is a journey. Success, or the success that follows, it's all a journey. So when we kind of immerse ourselves in the journey, accepting that this is a process, then that happiness is tangible along the whole way. And the formula for success in the correct order is once I become happy, truly happy, only then can I be successful, which is why they are both a journey. We're constantly becoming aware of and doing all kinds of things for ourselves to become happy and remain happy along the way, maintain happiness along the way, and then same thing with success. Okay, fourth one is goals. Goals are it. I almost said, what am I? Goals. I was thinking hockey for a second. Goals are at odds with long-term progress. Okay, so basically, what James Clear is talking about here is the yo-yo effect. So we don't know what that looks like. Up, down, up, down, up, down. So he uses an example of a runner. You can use it, whatever goal to fill it, to make it fit to what you do. Often when people are running or in 5K or 10K, and I can say this, I ran for years, and you're focusing on, I'm going to get the time I've done one marathon. I was a one and done with that. But let's say Half marathon was actually my favorite length. You still had some juice left over. So you're focusing on training, 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 training. Once many runners cross the finish line, they stop training. Or not as hard, don't care as much because the goal's done. Now you're just kind of doing like the slow jog. I'm still healthy. I'm not saying anything about that. But the actual paying attention to the training schedule, I'm thinking with a marathon, there's a very definite training schedule about lengths to run by which week before the marathon and everything. It's pretty mapped out. And then once the marathon's over, you're not on that kind of schedule anymore. And that's just the truth. So again, fill it in with whatever else, but it can cause this yo-yo effect. And this is also why many people revert to their old habits is once let's say it's the weight goal. That's a common one besides the fitness goal. Because I did the race thing, fitness goal, weight goal. People they lost 20 pounds. And now it's like, okay, I did it. You know, they call it cheat. I'll cheat this day, cheat that way. Often they go right back because here's the thing. You focused on the pounds lost instead of how you got there and actual lifestyle changes that you can celebrate all along the way. The breadcrumbs, celebrate, oh man, that wasn't the best for the food example, but let's say the small wins because slow and steady wins the race. So all those small wins and focusing on the small wins that will keep going through your whole life. You know, all these healthy things we can incorporate to actually keep that weight off and be fit because that's how it works. Just focusing on the number in the scale is not going to keep weight off long term. I'm sure about it. It isn't, with rare exception. Okay, so the main theme is that the purpose of a goal is to win the game, right? It's to win the game or win the race or whatever. The purpose of building systems is to be able to continue to play the game. I love that. Purpose, so I say it again. The purpose of a goal is to win the game. The purpose of focusing on the system, how to get there part, is to be able to continue to play the game. Lifelong lifestyle. Because for lasting long-term success is actually about goalless thinking. Goalless thinking. The prize is really here in the journey. Yay. Have a great day. Happy Friday, everyone.